To the modern eye, 1600s London looks like a masterpiece. A sprawling medieval skyline dominating the horizon. But if you were to step back into this world, the first thing that would hit you isn't the grandeur, it's the claustrophobia. We are looking at a city of 500,000 people trapped inside Roman walls built for a fraction of that number. It was the wealthiest city in Europe and the filthiest. It was the seat of kings and a lawless den of thieves. History tells us this city burned because of an accident. But if you look at the evidence, you realize London didn't just die, it was executed. To understand why, we have to perform an autopsy. We have to walk its streets, cross its river, and survive its nights. Welcome to the London Paradox. Our investigation starts at the choke point, Old London Bridge. This wasn't just a crossing, it was the machine that dictated the life and death of the city. Look at the piers. They were built so thick, they blocked 80% of the Thames' natural flow. The river didn't flow through, it screamed through. This created a deadly dilemma. London relied on trade, coal from the north, timber from the west, but the only way into the city was through these lethal arches. The boatmen called it shooting the bridge. It was a daily game of Russian roulette. Thousands drowned here, their bodies pinned against the stone by the current, unnoticed by the shoppers above. And above? It was a tunnel of commerce suspended over a killing zone. Shops and houses were stacked 6 stories high. The street was so narrow that if you stretched out your arms, you could almost touch both sides. It was vibrating with noise. It was coated in soot, and structurally, it was a trap. If a fire started on the north bank, there was nowhere to run. The real prison was the city itself. Step off the bridge and you enter the cage. For centuries, London was encircled by ancient Roman walls. But by 1600, they were keeping the population crushed in. The city couldn't spread out, so it cannibalized itself. Gardens were paved over, alleyways were narrowed to inches. And then there was the smell. There were no sewers in 1600. The street was the sewer. Rich and poor lived knee-deep in the same filth. This density didn't just make life miserable, it turned the city into a biological weapon waiting to detonate. When the sun went down, that safety vanished. There were no streetlights in 1600. The darkness was absolute. To get home, you had to hire a link boy, a child with a torch, to guide you. But even the light was dangerous. There were entire districts where the king's law didn't exist. They were called the Liberties. Places like Whitefriars, nicknamed Alsatia. Debtors, thieves and killers lived here in open defiance of the crown, a cancer growing right in the heart of the capital. To escape the infection, the elite fled west, upriver. The air was cleaner here. This is Westminster and Whitehall. The contrast is jarring. While the city downstream choked on coal smoke, the royals lived in sprawling palaces with manicured gardens. King Charles I believed he was untouchable here, but in 1649, the chaos of the city came knocking. See the banqueting house? That isn't just a ballroom, it's an execution stage. The king was beheaded right there. 16 years later, the biological collapse followed the political one. By 1665, the terminal phase began, the Great Plague. The only sound was the bell of the searchers calling, "Bring out your dead." Mass graves were dug in the parks. The city was rotting from the inside out. It needed a cure. It needed to be cauterized. On September 2nd, the surgery began. It started in a bakery on Pudding Lane, a small spark in a city made of kindling. But a strong east wind turned the spark into a firestorm. It moved with a terrifying intelligence. Witnesses saw the lead roof of St. Paul's Cathedral melt. It flowed down the street like a river of silver. The stone exploded. When the smoke cleared, the medieval patient was dead. But from the ashes, a new code was written. Brick replaced wood. Order replaced chaos. London had to die so the modern world could be born. Case closed.